when we look at job satisfaction, job productivity, and happiness, all of those things tend to travel in the right way. There's many times that many of us as physicians or other healthcare providers go into something with this dream that we thought we knew what it was going to be like, but we had no idea what it was going to be like. In fact, we were so wrong with what we thought it might be that it actually, from the very beginning, we were distraught with our decision to go to medical school or veterinary school or dental school or nursing school or pharmacy school, because this actually is nothing like they show on TV.
Welcome to the Licensed to Live show, where professionals, doctors, champions, VIPs, attorneys, and those in public office discover strategies that help you restart and gain what is lost when you find yourself accused. If another has doubted your integrity, questioned your credentials, or caused your actions to come under scrutiny, you are in the right place. On the other hand, if you have never felt the knot in the pit of your stomach when legal papers are served, the heartbreak of disappointing your family when the lock clicks shut on handcuffs, or had to appear before a board of review, then be aware, the longer you serve, the more likely you are to find yourself under the microscope of those who judge. Prepare yourself for this uncomfortable possibility. Now, here's your host, Dr. Jarrett Patton.
Welcome to this episode of the Licensed to Live show. My name is Dr. Jarrett, and I am your host for our journey together today and every day you choose to listen to this show. If you or anyone you know has been disengaged, dissatisfied, or disenfranchised by the healthcare system, please invite them to join us along this journey. Just go to Apple Podcasts, Google Play Podcasts, Stitcher, or anywhere you get your podcasts and subscribe to the Licensed to Live show. While you are there, please rate this episode and give me honest feedback so I can make sure I provide you with the most up-to-date information about career and life changes. Now you're about to listen to the second installment of the 5-day mini course. This course started in episode 9 with learning how to master your mindset. This episode focuses on why people make changes in their career and why you need to ask yourself why. This information will further prepare you for the live event that I will be hosting very soon. This masterclass will give you 5 strategies to get your career refreshed and restarted despite your limitations, past failures, and unforeseen circumstances. Take your life back and register for this free masterclass now at restartwebinar.com. That's restartwebinar.com. Hey, welcome to day 2 of the 5-day career restart mini course. So excited that you guys are back. We have gotten a lot of great information so far. Yesterday, as a review, we talked about mindset and understanding how mindset can really be the key to your success and getting to that next level, that next job that you really, really want, and that career happiness that you want, that you so much deserve and want to come back to. So tonight we are talking about why. People say, why would you even waste part of the course talking about why? People know why they don't want to have their job. Only in a few certain circumstances is it really something that's free and it's clear and it's easy to come to that conclusion. Your cost center is being eliminated. We're going to have to eliminate your position. There's not enough productivity out of this unit. Lose several staff members. You know what? We're just not going to do this here anymore. We're out. So whether it's a downsize or a programmatic change, or there's simply not enough patients to be seen anymore, well, these are the easy ways in which you know what your why is. You're all of a sudden out of a job and you need to go find a new job. And this is something that you're going to have to do, unfortunately, and it does happen. A lot of the people I help end up having this situation, and there are some things that you can do, but that's not the purpose. We are talking about why you're unhappy in your job. We're talking about why do you have low job satisfaction? Why is it so hard for you to drag yourself to work every day? Why? Well, again, sometimes people get very superficial in this and they just say, well, because I don't like this job. Well, okay, that's fine. But then if you go somewhere else, do you think you're going to like the next job? Well, maybe, but very probably not. In fact, when we look at job satisfaction, job productivity, and happiness, all of those things tend to travel in the right way. There's many times that many of us as physicians or other healthcare providers go into something with this dream that we thought we knew what it was going to be like, but we had no idea what it was going to be like. In fact, we were so wrong with what we thought it might be that it actually, from the very beginning, we were distraught with our decision to go to medical school or veterinary school or dental school or nursing school or pharmacy school, because this actually is nothing like they show on TV. And the work that's required is very different. And it's just not fulfilling. You may feel that you're not using your talents as much as you needed to. So this is very common. However, we need to get beyond that simple phase. We need to get down to the bottom of it. And we can't just say why. Well, I don't like the person that I'm with. I don't like the person that I'm going to working next to all the time. I don't like the people that are running the organization. There's sometimes those generic types of answers are what fuels us. And you get locked into that same pattern of thinking and you keep going down there until you say, I just can't stand it here anymore. So before you get there, you have to ask yourself, what do I really not like about this job? Is there something I could modify to make this job better? And that could just be saying, I need to take a break, or I need to maybe work less days in a week. Or perhaps if I were focusing more of my time doing this and someone else could do this, my job would be better. So these are relatively simple fixes because you tend to be a very high commodity in your workplace environment. And in order to keep you happy and keep you productive, there may be some ways you could go, particularly with the part-time thing, if you think that's going to help, or some of these other things that are there. So it's something to keep in mind because at the end of the day, that could help you. Now, for some, the problem is going to be much, much deeper than that. And you're going to have to do more than that. And it's really about cutting loose. People say I'm burned out. Well, yes, burnout is very common in our profession. It's very common in many professions. However, we have to, again, look at the reasons why you may be burned. Is it because you're working too long? You're not getting enough sleep. You're not getting enough exercise. You're working around too many negative people. All of these things can play into it, but you have to break it down. You can't just use a general category and say, so this is the exercise that I want you guys to go through. The 5 whys. I want you to ask yourself, why don't I like this job? Give an answer. Ask, why is that? Give another answer. And ask why 5 times. I want you to ask why 5 times. And when you ask why 5 times, you tend to get down to the root of the problem. Perhaps you're not happy with medicine. Perhaps you have underlying depression that needs to be treated. Perhaps it's something that happened that's far outside of your job and you're not going to be happy no matter what you do. We all know those people that change jobs every 2 years and they're going from this place to that place. You know, maybe they get a promotion, maybe they don't, but they think they're going to have a fresh start and a new attitude and things are going to be great, but they're not. 2 years down the road, they're looking for gotta go. And that's because those people are not really looking for that deep rooted satisfaction. And that's something that you have to do. So make sure you're asking 5 whys. So we talk about the homework. And so we asked in the homework to put a slew of reasons why you may not want to be somewhere and look at some of your core values and then match up things that are good about your job with core values or things that are not good about your job with the core values, and then figure out where these things match up and then what can you do to take a look at it later. Well, it sounds like a simple exercise. However, Many of us go into medicine or health professions to help people. And so that's great. That could be a core value. And you may still be doing some of that stuff while you're out there and you're working in this, but it's not always the case. You may not always be helping people the way you want to help people. This is why you really need to dig down, get to those 5 whys, and look at your core values. And once you find that out, then you're going to know where you're going to go. Sometimes we start on this road in medicine and take a walk down a long road that costs a lot of money and a lot of time and studying to get these advanced degrees. Once you get there, you find out I never really wanted to do that in the first place. Maybe my parents were putting pressure on me. Maybe it's just because I thought that looked like the Hollywood thing to do. There are a lot of things that you could have started that path, but you get locked in. And so you think you're supposed to be there and you may not be anywhere near that place. You may be somewhere so far away that you just can't even describe it, in a completely different industry. If that's the case, so be it. We need to find a way to transition you from your traditional healthcare role into another role that's going to help people in another way. If helping people is one of your core values, you can still help people by being a event planner. And you're just helping people in a different way. So you have to open your mind again and look at the different possibilities. When we get down to that deep level of why, and why must I change right now? And why at this moment in time, this is when it's time to start looking towards a plan. And at this point, when you've convinced yourself, you know, the exact, not superficial reason, but the deep, visceral, core reason that you need to change your job, now we are talking. And that's a level we need to be. So although tonight's course sounded simple, and why? Well, why? Because I hate my job. You have to get much deeper than that, because all you will set yourself up for is jumping out of one frame and going right into another, which is going to be the same situation. There'll be a brief honeymoon period where everything is happy and you're feeling great, but it's going to be something else that's going to get you a little bit deeper down there. And you don't have the time for that. You don't have the stomach for that. You don't have the life for that. You want to be happy. That is the ultimate plan in your career. You want to be doing something that's in your purpose. You want to understand why you're doing it, and you want to be doing something for the greater good. And if you can do all of those things where you are, there is no reason for you to change just because you had a bad day. Think back to that lesson number 1 about positivity. You may need to get negative people away from you and from surrounding you because they're bringing you down. So looking at very different reasons, many, many different reasons why. So if there's a simple fix to it, cut down your hours, go part-time, great. But most likely it's going to be something much, much deeper. And we got to get to that reason before we even think about jumping around to another transition.
Licensed to live.
Remember, Firestarters, if you or anyone you know has been disengaged, dissatisfied, disgruntled, or disenfranchised with healthcare, please invite them to join us along this journey. Simply go to your favorite podcast distributor and subscribe to the Licensed to Live show. While you are there, please rate this episode and give me honest feedback so I may make sure I provide you with the most up-to-date information about career challenges and life changes. And don't forget to sign up for the free Career Restart webinar at restartwebinar.com.
No matter how disheartening the moment of accusation sounds, how deep the pain of immobilization stabs, or how bleak your future looks, no one can take away your license to live. Keep Dr. Jarrett's expertise handy and unlock your future. Go to Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or another podcast player and subscribe right now to Licensed to Live. See you next time.